Hi, everybody. Dr. Ron Federici here, Northern Virginia again. Title of this video is How to Help Complicated Children Non-Responsive to Treatment. How to help violent children. How to help families that have a child who's out of control. Please look me up on the YouTube channels, as I have about 25 or so videos, short and long ones, including a 10 DVD training series, working in every area from medical, medication, school, education, family, evaluation, interventions that will work with a difficult child. So how to work with the most complicated, defiant, non-responsive kid is the title of this video. Let's start from the first fundamental stuff. You wouldn't have heart surgery until you got a comprehensive test battery to make sure you know what's going on, and even get a second opinion to make sure you know what's going on before you go in for surgery. Very important to do, same parallel as it is for complicated kids. So many people trust the first round, get an evaluation, the infamous ADHD, RHD, RAD, PTSD, mood disorder, chronic problem. Blah, blah. That doesn't tell you anything about the fundamental problems or the working deficits of the brain of a child who's been exposed to trauma, alcohol, drugs, abuse, neglect, chaos, confusion, foster care, or genetics, whatever it is. Fundamental stuff we got to start in this video. If you don't get a good solid understanding based on a good evaluation or a good second opinion critique that's very directive and aggressive to sort it out, to look at, does this child have the language skills to process information? Do they have the cognitive processing skills across the board? Front part of the brain, executive functioning, left part for language, right for visual perception of facial expressions, body language, brainstem for sensory regulation, and just in general, do they got enough common sense in the emotional brain, which is deep down between here and here, right in the center, on top, below the language centers, but the emotional brain for anger management, memory, learning, regulation. You got to check all this stuff out on complicated kids. Otherwise, you're medicating every symptom as opposed to helping the cause, understanding the cause, and working on the cause. So please, let's think about a good, before you do anything else. No more just jumping in. What do I do with my kids? Yelling, screaming, kicking, spitting, pushing, shoving, biting, and acting crazy. People ask me that all the time. I say, you got to start over. They get mad. But you know what? You can't micromanage these symptoms. You got to get a good fundamental understanding of what the hell's going on at the baseline of the brain and behavior. And these kids coming from tough backgrounds or unknown backgrounds or even your biological backgrounds, you got bad genetic influences. Get a solid evaluation and get a second opinion. Let us critique and critically analyze what's missing, what's not, and move on to a family intervention program that focuses on 4 critical principles. Deal with all the medical issues the correct way. Look at the educational issues that the child needs. Look at the family coaching intervention, Starting Over. My last book, Starting Over, the family intervention program. And then look at the kid. Kids can't do this alone. They need a multidisciplinary team, but they need their family, good medical people, people that understand the brain. The education system is not as great as it used to. They often don't give the kids a lot, and they don't understand brain damage due to toxic exposure or complicated kids. But we'll work on that. That's another area, homeschooling. We could talk about all those issues. Get a good evaluation. Get a good second opinion assessment, disseminate the data, critique the data, rip it apart and see what's missing, and then do a Starting Over program, which is what we're going to be setting up. Coaching for families for success. The last webinar, which should be up and running pretty soon, it's the impossible non-compliant child solution. And that's what we're looking for, the impossible children, non-compliant, that haven't been helped by traditional treatment. So Dr. Federici, DRFEDERICI at AOL.com. My website is drfederici, DRFEDERICI.com. Phone number in the office, 703-830-6052. We're getting the message out in a coaching format to critique, analyze, review, pick it apart, get a treatment plan, got research data. We give it all away. We send it to people that we want to help to try to get it out there, because not everybody can come in the office. But a lot of people are out there struggling terribly. We hear it, hundreds of emails and contacts a month. We're here to help. And, we have a good program, a good team, and good interventional model. And again, my first book I talked about, you got a tough kid, get to the 80%. Doesn't get to 100%. 80% is good, the 80% rule. Adults only family intervention program. So let's do the non-compliant child solution project. Look at the webinar. Look at my other YouTubes on here. Everything from trauma, the 10 volumes I've done with my colleague Heather Forbes about every conceivable part of a kid who's difficult and family interventions. Look it up. And I've been looking on YouTube and all these other ones. They're micromanaging aggressive behavior, sticker charts, timeout, all this nonsense. It doesn't work. Time in, teaching, family intervention, reconstructive work, therapeutic activities, games, teach, train, rehearse, and understand you can't fix a damaged brain. You can rehearse and teach around it so you can develop new ideas. It's like learning a foreign language for a lot of these kids. They don't get it, which is why therapy fails. Medications drug them out for symptoms. Medications certainly very helpful, but you ought to really know what you're medicating. And the school stuff is last on the list because I recommend a home-based time once we talk about a coaching program that's going to help a lot of families. So I look forward to contact from you. Keep watching, the YouTubes, which is going to be our format to get all the information out there. I've already seen that people have looked at a couple of my other ones 1,000 times over. Great comments, so I appreciate that. So been doing this a long time, know these kids. I'm a straight-up guy, none of this fluff nonsense stuff. Get right to the point. And also look at our 10 DVD trainings with Heather Forbes, covers every area. So look forward to continue to doing these training videos through YouTube.